She's having an asthma attack. Do you know if she has asthma? No, I'm not sure about that. Don't worry about anything. I used your phone. I called Dale. I left him a message. I really didn't want to. He should have been here. He should never have left you like this.
It's...
Unacceptable. Unforgivable. To me. What exactly is happening here? Ah, Dale, good. I'm glad you're here. Let's step outside. She's finally sleeping calmly. It was serious. Her oxygen levels were dropping. They diagnosed asthma. Asthma? Yeah. She didn't know she had it. The poor air quality this week played a part. So, how did you find her? What? Just curious. How did you find her? Whoa. It's not what you think. Okay. Then what was it?
So the question remained calm, too calm. And Minho understood immediately. If their positions were reversed, he would be wondering the same thing. So he explained the phone call, how she sounded when he called, driving by to check on her, seeing her leave the building, taking her to the hospital. And Dale listened, and then he nodded. But the tension didn't seem to leave his face. Instead, it seemed to grow.
Yeah, so it was simply making sure she got home safe. We should all get together sometime. You, me, Renee, all of us. Actually, we spend enough time around each other already. No, we should, really. Besides, Renee is practically family. Nah, let's not. Me and Renee will probably be married soon. We'll likely only stay in Korea for a short time after that. So, don't get used to her being around. It's only temporary.
There was a slight shift in Minho's expression, gone almost instantly, but Dale saw it. And Minho stood there for a moment, trying to shake off the words, trying to convince himself that those words hadn't bothered him as much as they had. But they did. And so did Dale. He sat at Renee's side, watching and feeling every bit of it.
Minho?
No, he's gone. It's just me.
How did you get here so quick?
Quick? You've been here for 2 days already.
2 days?
Yes. You've been asleep most of that time.
Oh. I thought Minho had been here still.
Nope. It's just me. Let's not argue over nothing.
Dale.
And a man holding your hand the entire night while he sleeps isn't nothing. Wouldn't you agree?
He did that?
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to comfort me? I was unconscious. I was dying.
You weren't dying.
It felt like I was. Why are we always arguing about nothing?
I'm sorry.
I know.
It's just,
What?
I don't know. He's always around.
We're friends.
I don't believe it.
What?
I think he's in love with you.
Dale, please.
Dale leaned back to retreat to his chair. For a few moments, neither spoke. He finally carefully chose his words.
I'm serious.
Minho and I are family.
He doesn't look at you like family.
You are imagining things.
I'm not. I saw him
When?
a couple times.
You've barely even seen him. Just a few minutes here and there. There's no way.
I don't need to see him that many times to know that look.
No.
And this morning,
No. That was nothing.
he woke up and looked at you.
Dale,
I know that look.
I love Minho. It is not like that.
Good grief.
I love Minho because we've been friends since we were kids. And that's it.
You aren't kids anymore. So how can you be so sure?
Because it's been 20 years. If there was anything there, he would have said something by now.
I don't know. I still don't like it, but maybe. You're right.
I know.
Maybe I shouldn't have been so harsh on him.
What do you mean?
I told him we were getting married,
Dale, really?
and that you probably wouldn't be staying in Korea forever.
Dale.
I know. I may have been a little rude.
A little?
Okay, more than a little.
When Minho finally arrived home, he immediately sat on his couch. But before he could get himself comfortable enough to replay the moment, his doorbell rang. It was Lusoon.
Where have you been? I've been calling all night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What happened?
I was at the hospital.
The hospital?
Not me.
Then who?
Renee.
Your coworker?
She had a severe asthma attack.
Oh no.
Apparently, she didn't even know she had asthma. I got her to the hospital just in time.
Oh, thank goodness.
I stayed until her boyfriend arrived.
I'm glad she's okay.
Me too.
That answer seemed to settle the last of our concerns. And as well as his. At least he thought it was. Minho headed for the shower and he stood in the bathroom for a while staring at himself. He was angry. He was more than angry. Here he was abiding by the rules, and he was getting questioned for it. A gentleman's courtesy. And that's what angered him the most, because in reality, it just hit him that he didn't know him anything. After showering, he emerged to find Lusoon already moving around in his kitchen. The smell of breakfast filled the apartment. She had made herself completely comfortable, something that should have made him smile. Instead, he found himself distracted. His thoughts drifted back to the hospital, back to the hallway, back to Dale. Don't get used to her being around. It's only temporary. The words refused to leave him alone. But his thoughts were broken when Lusoon spoke.
You've been staring at that same spot for more than 30 seconds.
Sorry.
Long night?
Very. I need to head in.
Already?
I have a meeting with one of the foundation investors. Normally, Renee would be handling part of it. Since she's out, I have to cover everything.
Of course.
We should do something tonight.
I'd like that.
Good.
Stay focused, he fought with himself. But his mind was elsewhere. By the time Minho reached his practice, exhaustion was beginning to win. He completed the investor meeting, answered questions, signed paperwork, smiled when required, then finally retreated to his office. He locked the door, dropped onto the couch, pulled his jacket over his face and tried to close his eyes. The lack of sleep was part of it, but not all of it. Every time he drifted off, he found himself back in the hallway, hearing Dale's voice. Me and Renee probably will be married soon. Don't get used to her being around. It's only temporary. Minho rolled onto his side, trying to sleep, trying not to think, trying not to admit how much those words had bothered him, and failing at all three. It was late when Minho finally woke. For several seconds he didn't remember where he was. Then the stiff couch beneath him and the familiar ceiling of his office brought him back. His neck ached. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. The screen lit up. 12 missed calls and 10 messages, all from Lusoon. His shoulders dropped, and the panic spread, and the anxiety.
What am I doing? I'm being rude.
The guilt pressed in, because none of it was her fault. Yet here he was, sulking over a woman that wasn't his. He leaned back against the couch, stared at his phone. Why did he have to say that? Don't get used to her being around. The words played again and again. I wasn't trying to take her away. I was just comforting her. The sentence escaped his lips before he even realized what he had spoken aloud. Then he laughed to himself, a tired laugh. Maybe I was just comforting myself. The laughter disappeared as quickly as it had came. His breath slowed. It was happening again. He knew that feeling. He had spent years learning how to master it, how to control it, to bury it. He had finally accepted what Renee was, a friend, a sister, family. He smiled bitterly. Family. He had finally found peace with that definition. Now, someone had threatened to take it away. Or maybe Dale hadn't taken anything. Maybe he had simply forced him to look at something that he had been avoiding all this time. He stared at nothing. Was he being irrational? Probably. But who could he even talk to? His father? Absolutely not. Mrs. Kim? Impossible. Lusoon? Hell no. Especially not Lusoon. His phone buzzed again. Lusoon. He sighed. Oh, this is just being rude. He immediately opened the messages. He read them. Where are you? Are you okay? Please answer me. Without even thinking, he began typing back. I'm so sorry. My phone slipped out of my coat in my office. I've been looking everywhere for it. I'm still at work. He snapped a picture of his office and his office couch, and he sent it to her immediately. Almost instantly, his phone rang.
Hello. I've been worried sick.
I'm sorry.
Are you okay? You've been different ever since your employee.
No, I'm fine.
Are you sure you are okay?
Yes, really, I am. Can I come see you now? Would that be okay?
Of course.
Minho tried to shake off the anxiety building in his chest. Then he headed for Lusoon's. Nearly 30 minutes later, Minho stood outside of her apartment. The moment the door opened, he stepped forward. She could see the tension in his eyes, a look she had never seen before.
I am sorry.
As he hugged her, his arms remained tightly around her, almost desperately. She slowly leaned back to try to look at his face. Minho? He still hadn't let her go. What happened? Finally, he released her. Come inside, she said. He nodded.
Things have just become hard. I'm chasing perfection. The harder I work, the worse everything feels.
For the first time in days, he just simply wanted someone else to carry the weight. And for the first time in years, he had been willing to let her try. Lusoon slowly brushed her fingers through his hair. Then she spoke.
You've been under so much pressure. I think the foundation is becoming too much. You've thrown yourself completely into it. Maybe you should let it go.
The room became still. Minho sat upright almost immediately, his expression unreadable. He stared at Lusun, not angry, not disappointed, just empty. After nearly a full minute, Lusun finally broke the silence.
Minho, maybe it's time to step away from the foundation.
I need some rest.
Minho, not forever, just for now. Is it because you don't want to let your employee go?
No, that's not it. Honestly, I just came to apologize and to tell you I'll be away for about a week.
Wait, we should finish talking.
Not tonight.
Please.
I just need to get myself together. Just give me a few days to get things straightened out.
The drive home was silent. It wasn't her fault. And what she said shouldn't have been a dagger, but it was. Everything irritated him. Even the sound of the wind past his window was annoying. He turned off the radio. No music, no phone, no thoughts. Or at least he tried. Every road somehow led back to Renee. Every conversation somehow ended with her. Every attempt to move forward somehow circled back. By the time he reached home, his mind was made up. He was completely out of control. He had to get away. He had been here before. He knew that feeling. The one that was building up in his stomach. The ache. He needed it to stop before he headed back down that dark road. The one that almost swallowed him whole. He had to get away. Now. He opened his laptop, canceled his upcoming business trip. He reviewed the surgery schedule. There was nothing urgent for over a week. Then he called Mrs. Kim.
Hello, Mrs. Kim. I need a favor.
Anything.
I'm taking leave.
For how long?
A week or so. I've overwhelmed myself. I need rest.
I knew it.
Knew what?
You and Lusun had a fight.
No. It isn't that. I don't want anyone contacting me or knowing where I've gone. Not my father, not the hospital, not anyone. No exceptions. Especially if it's not an emergency.
I'll handle everything.
Thank you.
Of course. Please be safe. I'll see you when you return.
That evening, with nothing more than a carry-on bag, Minho boarded the last flight out, leaving Seoul behind. We're flashing back 2 years.
Dad, what time did you say Mom's flight was supposed to arrive again? About 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm already here waiting. No. I'll wait. Come home now. Dad, what's wrong? Just come home. Okay. Son, stay on the phone with me. Breaking news tonight. A passenger flight bound for Seoul has crashed off the southern coast of Korea. Emergency crews are responding, but officials have not yet confirmed the number of survivors.
He simply turned away and walked down the hallway to his room and closed the door behind him. And then he felt it. All of it. The numbness disappeared so suddenly, replaced by pain. Pain that nearly doubled him over. His mother was gone. He sat heavily on the edge of the bed, and without warning, another name appeared in his mind. Renee. He closed his eyes. God. Renee. This is when he would have called her. He wouldn't have needed to explain himself. Wouldn't have needed to find the right words. He could have just called and said nothing at all. She would have known. She always knew. What could anyone possibly say in a moment like this, anyways? Nothing. Nothing, really. There was no words that could make his mother alive again. No sentence that could make the pain smaller. But Renee would have stayed on the phone. She would have let him fall apart. And somehow, that would have been enough. His hand moved toward the phone. Then it stopped, and he stared at it. He couldn't call her. Not anymore. That realization broke something else inside of him. The first sob came quietly. The next tore through him. Then there was just no controlling it. The grief began to consume every part of him. For days, Minho moved through the house in a daze. He didn't shower. He barely ate. He barely slept. He drank. And when the alcohol couldn't numb him enough, he cried. Sometimes his father would find him sitting silently in the dark. Other times he disappeared for hours. Neither was better. His father understood grief. He had lost his wife, too. But watching his son unravel beneath the weight of the same loss was becoming some kind of other grief entirely. That night he looked at the clock. Midnight, again. Minho wasn't home. His father sat rigidly in the family room staring at the phone beside him. Every night Minho disappeared, he waited for the call that he would dread the most. An accident, a hospital, police, anything. His eyes closed. It had been nearly 3 weeks, and Minho wasn't getting any better. His father was losing him more and more each day. The phone rang. He grabbed it immediately. It was Minho, or rather someone calling because of Minho, drunk again. His father closed his eyes and headed for his son. His father sat next to him, looking at his son, and the fear that he felt turned into something else, anger. Not anger at Minho, fear disguised as it. At this rate, the alcohol would probably kill him before the grief had a chance to. He stared out the window. He had to do something, anything, because whatever they were doing now wasn't working. Hours later, his father went to check on him. Minho was tangled in his sheets. His shirt was soaked. He was drenched in sweat. His face was wet with tears. He was dreaming. His father looked on as he shifted restlessly.
Mom. Renee. Mom, please.
His father listened. What was this? After all this time? His father remained by his side, questions looming. Why her? Why now? His father watched as he remained beside him. He remembered Renee. Of course he did. How could he forget her? But he had believed that chapter of his life had ended years ago. Apparently, some part of his son had never let it go at all. His father didn't know, but for the first time since Renee had disappeared from their lives, he found himself wishing she was there too. Perhaps she could reach a part of Minho that no one else could. God only knew that he could use the help. At that moment, his father had made a decision. He wasn't going to sit by and watch Minho destroy himself for another day. Minho looked terrible, exhausted, hungover, empty. He decided that he would take him to the cabin in the woods, his mother's favorite place. For a moment, he wondered if he was making a terrible mistake. But maybe being surrounded by her memories would possibly deepen the wound. Or perhaps it would remind Minho that loving someone didn't simply end because they were gone. Honestly, he really didn't know. He had to do something. He placed his hands on his shoulders. We're going. Where? We're leaving today. To the cabin. Minho looked up. He didn't argue. Not for now. And that was enough. He could only hope that the cabin would bring his son some peace and not more pain. By the time they had reached the cabin, morning had begun to break through the trees. Mr. Soon stepped from the car and stopped. He had forgotten how beautiful it was. The cabin sat tucked away among the trees, overlooking the lake, so still that it reflected the pale morning sky. Mist hovered just above the water, and beyond it, the mountains disappeared into the distance. Hanoa loved this place. For one dangerous moment, the thought nearly took his breath away. He looked toward Minho. His son was too exhausted to notice anything at all. Perhaps it was for the best. They carried their things inside, and within the hour, both men were overwhelmed with sleep. But before Mr. Soon went to bed, he searched the cabin. every cabinet, every cupboard. He searched a small bar, and he poured out every drop of alcohol down the drain. If Minho wanted to get drunk here, he would have to drive an hour and a half to accomplish it, and Mr. Soong had the car keys. Neither of them woke until the evening, but Minho had awoken first. Mr. Soong found Minho outside near the lake. He stopped at the window and watched him. Minho sat alone near the water, elbows resting on his knees. He still looked exhausted, still broken, but he was sober, completely sober. It was the best that he'd seen his son look in almost a month. Mr. Soong allowed himself the smallest breath of relief. Tomorrow, he decided, tomorrow he would take his son fishing. It would mark day one of his plan to find his son again.
Get up, Minho. Get up. Why? Why? We're going fishing. No. Yes. I don't fish. You used to. When I was 12. Then I'm sure you'll remember. Get dressed. So, have you spoken to that American? What American? Renee. You remember her? Of course I remember her. Have you spoken to her? No. Not at all? No. Why are you asking me about Renee? No reason. That wasn't no reason. You have not asked me about Renee in years. Perhaps I became curious this morning. Did I say something? What makes you think you said something? You're a terrible liar. So was your mother. You said her name. When? The other night. You're mistaken. I have no idea what I was saying. You called for your mother, and then you called for Renee. I said I don't know. After all these years? Appa, I'm only asking. You're interrogating me in the middle of a lake. I thought you might be more cooperative without an escape route. You brought me fishing so I couldn't leave? It seemed efficient. Do you want to fish, or would you rather continue analyzing my unconscious mind? Both. Maybe retirement has given you too much free time. What did you say? I said you're getting old. Your hearing is going too. Appa, don't. Appa! Let me in. You called me old. Because you are old. Oh, you've lost your mind. Possibly. Don't even think about it.
He laughed. It came unexpectedly. Rough at first. Almost foreign after weeks without it. But it was real. For just a moment, Minho was there again. And for those few minutes on the lake, the grief had loosened its grip. And they could breathe again. And eat together again. The following morning, Mr. Soong had no intention on forgetting what he heard. But Minho was already returning back to his grouchy silence. Perhaps it wasn't the right time. But Mr. Soong asked anyway.
You know, I heard you said Renee's name in your sleep. That's the American girl, right? Have you been in touch with her? No. Then why? After all this time? It was nothing. I don't even remember it.
Mr. Soong watched him go. Wonderful. That had accomplished absolutely nothing. He leaned back. If he continued pushing, Minho would probably retreat further. Fine. He would leave Renee alone for now. his son needing something more immediate. One good morning on the lake wasn't going to undo nearly a month of drinking and grief. Minho needed purpose, something difficult, something that demanded all of him. Mr. Soong's thoughts was broken when he heard the phone ring.
Prime Minister, please, not tonight.
I only called to tell you how deeply sorry I am. I heard about Hanwal.
Thank you.
I should have called sooner.
There was no need.
There was, but I've been dealing with something here myself. My daughter was in an accident.
Anna?
Yes, she survived, thank God for that, but she was badly injured.
I'm sorry.
She's healing, but the scarring is significant, particularly on her face. She's young, she barely wants anyone to see her anymore.
Yes, I know what you mean. Perhaps you should let Minho take a look at her.
Minho?
He's very talented at what he does, more talented than he allows himself to believe sometimes.
I know his reputation.
He may be able to help Anna. And frankly, Minho could use the work right now. Something difficult, something that requires all of him.
You think it would help him?
I think he needs to remember who he is.
If Minho could do something for Anna, it would be a blessing.
I'll talk to him tonight.
Thank you.
One week later, the man who stepped through the Heathrow airport barely resembled the one Mr. Soong had dragged home days earlier. Minho wore a dark tailored suit. His hair was neat. His posture was straight, professional, sober, controlled. His father walked beside him without commenting on the transformation. He knew his son. Give Minho something to fix, and everything else disappeared, at least temporarily. Minho greeted them formally, and then it was down to business. When he saw her, something changed. The grief didn't disappear. It simply moved aside. Doctor first. Minho approached slowly, careful not to make the young woman feel examined. He studied her injuries, asked questions, reviewed the scans, then examined them again. Her father watched him. "So, can you help her?" he asked. Minho remained silent for a few seconds. His eyes moved once more toward the imaging, then toward Anna. She looked terrified, but as Minho's expression softened, he turned toward her father and nodded. "Yes, I can." 18 hours later, the operating doors opened, and Mr. Soong stood immediately. Anna's father was already on his feet. Minho had emerged wearing surgical scrubs. Exhaustion showed on every part of him. But his eyes were clear, focused, alive. Anna's father stepped forward. Minho removed his surgical cap. "It went well." The man's shoulders dropped with relief. "She's stable. The reconstruction looks good. We will need to monitor everything and watch the healing carefully, but..." Minho allowed himself the smallest smile. "I'm very pleased with the result," he said. Anna's father closed his eyes. Mr. Soong stood off in the distance watching his son's expression. He thought to himself that losing his wife was the worst thing that could ever happen to him, that it would surely mark the end of his life as he knew it. But to him, saving his son was the only thing that could ever override that. He stood there thinking back that it was ironic how that turned out.
Thank you for helping our daughter. I am eternally grateful for everything.
I am glad I could help. Appa, I have finished and it ended well.
I know, son, I heard. I am so proud of you.
I think this was a good thing for me.
We're flashing forward. Renee returned to work the following Friday. The drive to the office was unusually quiet. The entire week she had rehearsed what she was going to say to Minho. Every excuse, one after the other, none of them sounded right. By the time she pulled into the parking garage, she gave up. She would just tell him the truth. She should have called. She should have thanked him. She should apologize for disappearing. Maybe she should start with that one. And she needed to clear up the misunderstanding that Dale had created. It was the only thing that felt right. Just be honest. As soon as she stepped through the doors, Mrs. Kim greeted her. "There she is. Pugus pasayo. We missed you." Then she stepped forward and gave her an unexpected hug. And, in the same breath, We have so much to finish. We have to finalize the details for the London fundraiser. Renee laughed. I know. I'll make up for lost time. Then, is Mr. Soong in? Before Mrs. Kim could even answer, she was already walking towards his door. She pushed it open to see it was empty. Everything sat perfectly untouched, and there was no coffee, no jacket, and no Minho. She slowly turned to face Mrs. Kim.
Where is he?
He's away.
Away?
He asked not to be disturbed.
For how long?
He didn't say.
Can I call him?
No. Those were his exact instructions. No calls, no visitors, no interruptions.
But
He said whatever decisions we make while he's gone will be the right ones. So, let's get to work.
She threw herself back into work. Morning meetings, budget revisions, London schedules, donor confirmations. By lunchtime, her energy had vanished. She ate her lunch in her office, the chair across from her desk completely empty. For the first time in months, she looked at her phone. One text, no answer. She waited. 10 minutes. She sent another one. Still nothing. By the fourth, she was completely irritated.
seriously? So this is what this feels like.
A strange feeling washed over her. 1 minute she felt guilty. The next she was furious. Then guilty again. Now she understood. This is exactly what she had done to him all week. She deserved it, she thought to herself. The next day, she convinced herself he had to return back to work so she could wait. But tomorrow became Monday. Monday became Tuesday. Tuesday became Wednesday. Nothing. No calls, no texts, no emails, no response, just silence. By Thursday, she found herself inventing reasons to enter his office. She dropped off files that could have waited, left sticky notes with questions she already knew the answers to, placed reports neatly in the center of his desk. Every excuse was just another reason to stand in the room for a few more seconds. By now, it had been more than 2 weeks that had passed since they'd eaten lunch together. She hadn't realized how much she looked forward to those lunches, and how quiet the office was without him. She had walked in his office for the 10th time. She couldn't explain it. It just bothered her. If he doesn't come back soon, she thought to herself, he's going to think I built him a shrine. Her eyes wandered around the office. Everything was exactly how he left it, neat, organized, perfect. Then something caught her attention, a framed photograph. She picked it up. A much younger Minho stood with his parents, all three of them smiling. His hair was longer. His smile was brighter. He looked happy. She smiled without realizing it. You really haven't changed that much, she said to herself. Then, her eyes drifted to the back of the frame, a handwritten note. Jeju cabin, home. Her smile slowly disappeared. A thought struck her so suddenly she actually stopped breathing. What if... She stared at the photograph. Then, she quickly decided to return to her office to Google information about the location. It didn't hurt to check. Mrs. Kim entered and interrupted her search.
The executives still want someone there in person for the investor meeting. With Mr. Sung away... Actually, I'll fly there immediately. It shouldn't wait.
There, an opening, if you would call it that. The flight to London was long, and she was exhausted, but she was able to finalize the remaining details. The investor meeting went smoothly. The signatures were secured, and the event location was confirmed. By the evening, everything was done. She checked her phone one last time. Nothing. No call, no message. So, that decided it. She pulled up the available flights. Next stop, Jeju Island. After all, it was practically on the way. She could always just sleep on the plane. She texted Dale, in London, on a business trip, and the guilt washed over her. But she had to fix it. That's all she knew. She arrived early morning. Then she rented a SUV. One of the local residents pointed her toward the mountain roads. It's beautiful, the older man said, but drive carefully. The roads get narrow. He wasn't exaggerating. Each turn seemed steeper than the last. Dense trees surrounded the winding road. No guardrails, just cliffs and silence. Finally, the road opened. A quiet lake, a modest wood cabin, smoke drifting lazily from the chimney. Beautiful, peaceful. She smiled. So, this is where you hide. She stopped just outside the gate and got out. Then, she looked down and saw him. Fishing. Quiet. Unexpected. Only because she never got to see him like this. Rugged. Bare. She opened the gate and drove inside. And a man stepped away from the water. She could still see him. Minho looked toward the sound of the approaching vehicle. His expression immediately shifted to surprise. He began walking. She could see that he was shirtless. Fishing suspenders hanging over waterproof waters. Rubber boots still wet from the lake. His hair was messy, the morning catching his shoulders. When she stopped the car and got out, she blinked. She stood frozen outside the SUV as he approached. Words still caught in her throat.
Oh my God.
Renee, how did you find me? What are you doing here? Tell me, are you okay? How did you find me?
If this story pulled you in, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Every bit of support helps our stories continue to grow. And a very special thank you to our new Syurian Insider members. DT Cloud, Maria Buno, Jenny Rock Bailey, Wanda Shepherd, LaDonna Wheeler, Paula Burgess, and Carolyn Johnson. Thank you very much for believing in these stories and being a part of something special. Episode 6 of The Obsessors is up next. See you there.